It'd be good if you could hear me. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna get started in just a second. Okay. Um, I'm gonna give this to James so he can get started, but I'm gonna pull up what I was talking about.
Good morning. All right. So I was tasked with teaching this class that I'm very passionate about, and it's one of the things that yellow. All right. So it's one of the topics that I'm passionate about because I think it's one of those things that you can't learn it in school. You can only learn it from experience and only learn it from people who are willing to be an open book and kind of teach you the secrets of, as we say, how to move, right? So I got a couple rules. So I'm gonna tell everybody kind of how I feel and the knowledge that I have that works for me. But I want this to be interactive. Like I'm not gonna just stand up here and give you a lecture. So if you all were looking for a lecture, this the wrong spot. All right. So a little bit about my real estate career. Am I starting now? Okay. So a little bit about how I got started in real estate. I know most people in here, but I don't think people really know my story. So I played college basketball, and when I got done playing college basketball, I had the opportunity to either pick between going to play professionally in Brazil or Argentina. All right. Now the thing about Brazil, everybody's beautiful in Brazil when you're single, but they don't pay. All right. So looks matter a lot more than making money. So I said, well, that's not going to work for me. So what I did was I started a basketball academy. All right. Next best thing, I didn't want to coach. So I said I wanted to train kids and be able to be someone that gave them confidence. So I started a basketball academy at Fairleigh High School. No air conditioning. The lights barely work half the time. And I had two kids, neither one of them could play. So I'm all about starting a business from scratch. So as I trained over the course of I had that business for about 10 years, but I grew it to about 400 kids and about 25 professional players. So I traveled the country training NBA players. So I just gave you one of the secrets of if anybody's like, how does this dude get these NBA players? Well, I know their language. I understand them psychology wise. So one day I'm having a conversation with my dad, and he's like, I think you should consider being a real estate agent. I'm like, no way, worst idea you could come up with. Son and dad, just the typical beef. I'm not trying to hear that. I don't want to work in sales. I have no experience. I'm super private. I don't like getting in other people's business because I don't like people in mine. So now you expect me to go out here and ask these people about their money. I'm good. And so my dad, he told me as he was smoking his cigar, he said, the problem is these athletes are spending their big money with people they don't know and that they can't trust. And they're paying you and they're trusting you with their career in their hands. I was in real estate school the next week. Fast forward, I was always a potential B student, but C's just look prettier on my report card. So I went to real estate school, failed the test 4 times. So everybody raise your hand if you passed your first time. Who cares? All right. So so after finally passing the real estate exam, I came to Keller Williams. So I've been at Keller Williams my entire career. Um, Out at the Germantown office. So this year make 10 years. Wow. All right, this year make 10 years. And so When I got into real estate, so I'm gonna be real transparent. When I got my license, I was excited. Everybody put their fears on me, right? It'll take you 10 years to sell $1 million properties. If you're black, if you make 100 grand, you're successful. Third, why don't you try to be the most successful black agent in Memphis? Well, anybody that know James, that ain't how James think or operate. I said, well, thank you, but no thank you. So I wanted to go to a company that was total opposite. I wanted to learn everybody's strategy. And then I wanted to be able to implement some of the things that I learned along the way in my business. All right. So now everybody has my story. Any questions? No questions. All right. So we will move forward. So here's my main question I always ask people. How do you show up? So my man Dion right here. All right, this is one of my favorite quotes. You want to read my quote? All right. If if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And if you play good, they pay good. As simple as it gets. So I always tell people a lot of times in our industry when working in sales, everybody likes to have this mentality. We're business owners and we have these things called egos. And we have these things where it's like, I'm going to do it my way. I don't care what everybody else is saying. That's great until it's not great. And so a lot of the times as real estate agents, raise your hand if you've ever said, that's not me. Liars. All right. It's some more people. So how you show up matters until you earn the right to show up how you want to show up, right? And so I always say you have to play the game. And I always tell people when you have a client and they want you to sell their $500,000 house, you have to look at yourself as that's a $500,000 entity that you're running. When people call you about selling a $2 million house, that's a $2 million enterprise that somebody is trusting you to run. So how do you show up? And so the problem is with realtors, we show up when we feel that it's appropriate to show up. Three-piece suits for $1 million listing appointments. Flip-flops for $30,000 appointments. So where's the middle? And as a professional, you have to look at yourself how you want to be perceived because people only can judge what they see. Is it right? No. Is it wrong? No. Example, when you drive by a restaurant and you always see the parking lot full, what's the first thing you think? It must be good. Why? Social proof, right? Parking lot proof. So what makes you think you're different? So you have to position yourself that other people are telling the story for you because nobody can talk about you like other people can, good or bad. You want to see a good rumor, man, them rumors they get hot quick. So it's the same with the success in your life. So you have to look at yourself like the person you want to be, and then you have to have the courage to be who you want to be. Questions, because y'all are bored. Somebody raise their hand. Nobody? Yeah. Yeah. So I think for me is I grew up with parents that understood business, right? And being an athlete, understanding if anybody was an athlete, it's structure. So all I know is structure. I don't even know, like I mean, it drives my wife crazy. Like I wake up same time every day. I got to leave home for church at the same time. I got to sit in the same seat at church. And she's just like, dude, like you the church police. There's 2,000 seats in here. But I'm like, that's my seat though. So I can never undo that because it's a part of who I am. And so even running our business, I'm at the office just about every day. I don't work from home. I can't work from home. I don't work from home. I can't work from home. So even on our team, when people call James at home, he's not as good at home as he is in the office. and I think they could tell. So, so for me, I have to have that structure because I look at myself as $1 billion producer. How would $1 billion business owner carry themselves, right? So I can't expect to get results of what someone else is already doing and then try to do it my way. And I think that's a lot of what holds realtors back, especially because there's no accountability there. But I'll often just say, if someone gave you the enterprise, how would you carry yourself, right?
I
So,
love that. So, like, you're talking like, I mean, in the red book, it says start with the end in mind, right? So,
right,
you're building the foundations of $1 billion business even before you ever get there.
right.
So, always just thinking of that way. How would you say someone who didn't grow up an athlete and doesn't have the structure that you have starts making those habits?
I would say one small habit at a time. Like the first thing is attack something that you really don't like doing or that you feel yourself procrastinating doing, right? It's small victories. So I do all these analogies in my head again. C student. My thing is just singles and doubles. All right. Don't try to hit home runs, singles and doubles. If you just get on base, one base at a time, you'll always score.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I love that. That's all. That was my
Okay.
question. Anybody else have any questions for James or
Question.
thoughts on any of that, what he just said? Okay.
All right. So here's my question to everyone else. How do you build equity and how do you feel you build social equity with people? Does everybody even know what social proof is? Okay. So social proof is not going out and buying a car you can't afford to impress people that don't really like you. That's not what social proof is. Not in this context. Social proof is being able to show up in a big way for people and then get to the point where they don't realize they need you. That's my definition of social proof until they need you. So it's been validated by your success, and you don't have to say a word, but your work speaks for itself. Everybody got that? Say it again. Okay. So you writing it there? Oh, okay. Okay. You mentioned it again. So it's the ability to make people feel like they need. I'll make it simple. Make people feel like they need you when they need you, and you're the only person that can fulfill what they need. That's the easy version.
Yeah, that's something that like Rory Vaden said when we went to see him in Dallas. He's a personal brand builder. That just reminded me of what he said with be the person who has the solution to that client, right? So, not like if James is the person that every single basketball player thinks of, he's always going to get every single basketball player, right? And then obviously he's going to get other things too because people know him, but he has that specialty of having the background and they know you and that's what you specialize in is helping them build wealth because that's talk a little bit about that too because you talk to me about how you are helping basketball players not just move from city to city but build wealth as they're in the NBA.
Yeah, I think just not getting caught in the life that they live like most people and understanding where the traps are because they don't understand. Most of us don't understand. We have an idea, but because we surround ourselves with other people, our community helps us understand where the pitfalls are. So I often tell athletes it's not a matter if, it's when. All right. You like your team today, you may hate your team tomorrow. Do I need to say any more? All right. It's a part of it. So when everybody's caught in the hype of it, there has to be someone at home base saying, hey, let's think about this. Let's not be so emotional about this. So for me, I have a passion because I understand that everybody's pulling, pulling, pulling. And people don't understand money. So when they see these athletes are making $20 million, they're not making $20 million. They're making $10 million. And then once their agent take their fees, they're $7 million. And then once they buy a house and buy a house for their mom and they're $5 million. And then when they buy a
When
couple,
they live and
right? So a lot of them a lot of you all may have better cash flow than these athletes do, but the world makes them suffer because they can openly see this person makes $10 million. So they're always victim. And what happens is athletes never want to look weak. And so instead of asking Philip for help, they withdraw. Because for me to ask Philip for help means I'm not good at something. And I wouldn't be where I am if I had to admit that I'm not good to something. So it takes confidence to now have these conversations with these athletes and say, listen, I feel you. How are you doing? I know you have to wear the Superman cape, but how are you doing? And most times they do this because everybody's pulling them, right? And so the narrative that athletes are not smart, it's not that they're not smart, but when you got $3 million in your bank account every 2 weeks, a lot of us are probably not smart. You know what I mean? It's easy to not be smart until someone shows you a better way. So for me, just being a person in that space and I'm passionate about what's next, I like to sit down and have those hard conversations with them.
I love that. So us that are, yeah, Sarah has a question after this, but my question is us that maybe are not in the athlete space.
Yep.
Yeah, that, well, you're looking at people who are business owners or they own a family business or maybe they run a company for a local business. Having those same conversations, I think, with them of honestly, it's a lot of pressure. Sometimes I'm up here like, I wish somebody would, I'm feeling pressure today. Like, Jesus, like, you know what I mean? What right. Sarah runs a million businesses. If you're not in the room, how do you get in the room is what Sarah's asking for y'all on Zoom.
Right. So this is what I tell people too. So everybody thinks like this sports and entertainment space. And again, I can say this, we're on camera. The people that run KWSC, they know how I feel. That's just me. I think it's unfair that people push this sports and entertainment narrative and people think like, wow, I want to aspire to be like, for one, it's very hard because it's a lot of babysitting. For two, that's not it. Like they think it's this flex and like their life's gonna change. It's not. Those deals are a lot harder because guess what? Athletes are busy. So they don't know that you have to pay things like your light bill and your trash bill and your HOA dues, right? So there's a lot that goes into that, but you have to know how to think like them to be ahead of the game, right? So for me, there's a rule in our office. When we do paperwork for athletes, we look at the schedule. Hey, there's a game today. We don't send paperwork on game day. There are a lot of etiquettes that are needed that the typical person that's not in that space don't understand. Now, to the question, how do you get in that space? It's a lot easier than you think. Here's the thing. Athletes don't refer you other athletes. But the people that are on the grassroots level to the athletes, their seventh grade basketball coach, their pastor, their English teacher, those are the people that refer you athletes, believe it or not, because they're all in this world and they're competing with each other and they don't know. So people just think, well, if I just get in this circle, no, they don't. They don't talk. They don't share vendors. They share their jewelry person and their car person, but they ain't sitting around talking about how much real estate they own. That's not what they do, right? Because at the same time, they're 25. So a real estate transaction that took me 30 days in my 24-year-old brain, that was a long process. I don't talk about that. But all my instant gratification stuff, I'll give you a phone number. So I tell anybody the space is open. Like there's space for 25 more James Harveys in Memphis. I promise you. Like I'm not putting a dent in the transactions that athletes are attached to here. Because I know 10 other agents that deal with athletes and we've never crossed each other. So I would say if it is a space that you want to get in, understanding discretion and privacy, that gets you there. That's the first thing. because a lot of agents, they feel like if I exploit this deal, my real estate career is going to take off. It doesn't. It's the people that you don't see, right? And you do some of that, and I did some of that stuff early on, but now you get to a point where I don't even like people asking me about athlete deals because I knew what it I had to go through to get that transaction across the finish line. And the more privacy that you have, that's what they look for. I'm looking for the agent, and here. So let me back. There's no shame on people that take pictures with their agent. I'm only talking about a specific space with athletes. So I just want to clarify that. They look for the agents that are private, that are not posting their clients and riding in the car and at every single game. That's what they look. That's what their team is looking for because very often, are you even dealing with the athlete? It's the business manager in the sport. So people ask me all the time, how do I get athletes? It's not athletes. It's financial advisors. It's attorneys. It's sports agents. Athletes want what they want. So they don't even all they know is I saw that house, it looked good, it got a pool, I'm gonna have all these parties. Can we close tomorrow? All the other intricate details of the transaction, they could care less. So I gave you the long answer.
To that point is, yeah, making connections with people who are helping them in the background.
Right.
Who,
right.
Okay.
And it's not hard. I mean, it's not hard. Like you already know people who are connected to athletes. You just have to find. You just have to dig deep. One of these things our team is doing, going vertical. Just gotta go vertical with the people you already know.
I'm sorry, Josh was in the background looking in, and it was funny.
Ah.
Paul, he never shows up in here, so he's so impressed. Anyways, no, I think that's great. So that's a good plug to kind of make those connections, figure out who's connected in those spaces. And even the financial advisors, those can get you connected because you don't just deal with athletes, right? You deal with high net worth individuals a lot of times, or their family members and things like that. It always trickles down. But how can you make a personal connection with people to get that? But I mean, that goes back to real estate in general, relationships, right?
But I would say business executives are the same. Like I always tell people, if you had the pleasure of working with an athlete, a surgeon, and a pilot, they're the same person.
Yeah. I was talking to a luxury agent not that long ago, and she talked about the same thing. It's a lot of babysitting and a lot of moving parts that they want you to take care of. So I have a question. How do you handle taking care of all those things? Is it your team? Do you have like a checklist of things you make sure you take care of? Is it in your head?
A checklist. I don't do checklists. You know.
Does Paige have a checklist?
No. So I mean, it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff after a while, and it's not. I mean, like, I'm not a check. I mean, I just do what needs to be done.
Okay.
If there's an issue, you have to a lot of times put your pride down. Like I'm going to a house today to take garbage cans to the street. Like, and so people think it's this just no, it's not. Nobody else thought to take the garbage can to the street. So James, the realtor, we need to take the garbage to the street. I mean, so a lot of it is just your ego. And what happens is agents are like, I want this big deal, but I'm not doing that. Okay. It's a part of it. Mm-hmm. So if you don't, who's gonna do it?
Yeah, I love that. Okay.
So I have a question for the room. Do people feel like they're missing out if they don't use you? Ooh. Wow. V, do, do people feel like they're missing out if they don't use you? And how do you get them to feel that way?
I'm going to bring you a mic so that the people on Zoom can hear. Is that okay?
So you want them to get to a point where they feel like they're missing out if they don't use you, but it comes with the service. All the things that people think that goes on in the transaction, or the things that don't, like you said, taking the garbage out, changing the light bulbs, or setting the time, or programming their uh, Alexa, things like that. So you want them to feel like, okay, yeah, if they don't use me, they missing out. But you don't hold it against them if they don't.
That's a great tip. I think a lot of realtors, just what she just said, get offended if they don't use you. Everybody knows a lot of realtors. So I think making sure that you're super humble and your ego is not there when they don't, to just say, like, that's okay. I know everybody knows a lot of agents, and not get offended and just keep it rolling. A lot of times they'll refer you because of how you reacted to that, in my opinion.
Well, and that's the thing I was saying in the luxury space. Everybody want that $100,000 check, but it's like all they did was, I'm not there. Can you take my garbage can to the street? And agents start pouting. But I want that $100,000 check though. They could easily say, I don't think you're worth the $100,000. Right? So that's where ego, putting your pride and understanding the big picture, right? This is bigger than one deal. And then I'll tell you another thing too, like, so I get these thoughts come to my head. So Matt sitting right there, we talk about this all the time. Stop letting these big deals turn you against other realtors. Like, now that makes me sick. Like, I mean, because for one, you have your pride and ego in the way. Your person is clearly moving, and I'm going to still be in Memphis listing houses that your clients are going to need. So it has to be bigger than one transaction. Like, we have a culture on our team. So oftentimes we get listings, and it's an agent that had it listed that we know. We always make a phone call to that agent. Look, we got a friendship. We got call on this listing, but we wanted to give you a courtesy call first. And all the agents, they're like, I got fired, but don't worry about it. Like, blah, 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 blah. And now we understand what we're dealing with, because most realtors, they go into this property, and because I won this expired, I'm going to bash the last realtor. And then you often find out that person's crazy, and that's why they've had 7 realtors. And now you got no more real estate friends. Stop. Sorry, Matt. Not. Y'all can probably tell I got a little passion. Me and Matt, we talk about stuff like that. Like, all right, so back again to the beginning. Now, what's your definition of social proof? So I gave an example. So this is the part where everybody interact and we kind of do the go back and forth thing. What's your definition of having social proof in the marketplace now?
Hey, y'all need to show up. I'm just playing. It's your past. Okay. It's your past clients, your testimonials, kind of your track record. It can be different things, I guess, for different people. Some people are going to Google you and like really look into the statistics. Like, how many homes has this person sold in my area? This, that, or the other. Some people, the testimonials look good. Some people are going, they may be a little bit more emotional. They're going to see how does this person treat their clients, I guess. But all of those things to me are social proof, where you don't have to get out and say, I'm this type of person. Your track record will say it.
And again, so I wrote this down. So going to Phil's point, we assume that if people are already using something, it must be good. And I think that's, we have to do a better job of getting that message out. Like, and everything else will take care of itself. Like, there's only a few things that you have to do very consistently that would drive those other things. Anybody else? Mm-hmm.
How many raving fans you create? Reviews and referrals.
Right.
Referrals will tell you how much impact you're making. Yeah. Yeah, it's a way to track it in Sarah brain to figure out
Well,
how your social proof shows up. But
So-
what I heard was,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
you go ahead.
No, no,
Sorry.
no, it's on you.
What I heard was showing up how you social proof is how people think of you, right? So kind of it's basically a reputation of how you show up every single day. And then when they see that you're the person all the time, the same person all the time that always carries their self that way, then they have trust with you. And then they want to use you. Or the people around them are like, that guy always is on, you know what I mean? Like he's always showing up in this way. So I know he's going to show up in that way for me. Does that make sense?
It does. Anybody else? Terrence?
Called you out.
So I'm new to the real estate space, and so for me, just think about throughout the years, like I would go hang out with.
Mm-hmm. 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 Terrence, pay somebody to cut the grass. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Get you a guy. Anybody else?
I'll say this: a lot of us spend time. I think a lot of people saw social proof.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, James fixing to drop some bombs for me on how I can be killing it on social media.
So bored.
But being social proof, to me, at its core, is being authentic, and it's not always about what you do in a transaction. It's who you are away from real estate, who you are first and foremost. Who are you with the people that you spend every day with, your family? Who are you with your coworkers? Because the trickle down effect is real. The hard times, the lean times show us who's genuine. And when you do things for other agents, just as an example, we're talking about garbage for other
Right.
for clients.
Right.
And you got an agent who's got a hard time, you help them with things in the office. You see someone who's out of town and needs a house shown. Is your first question, how much are you going to pay me for me to go open that door? That's real talk. That to me is making ourselves social proof.
Yep.
Be authentic and be who you want someone else to be for you.
And so Matt wouldn't hear. So the first example we gave was, to his point, why is it always cars in the parking lot at that restaurant? And I think that goes into that. Like, I may not necessarily like everything on the menu, but there's a reason why that parking lot is always packed. And I think that's, to Matt's example, why does this person name constantly keep coming up? All right, I gotta use them. Yeah, I had another realtor, but I feel like I'm missing out. So let me see what this is about. Same thing.
Okay, something that came to mind when you said the restaurant just now, it just popped in my head, is that parking lot's going to be full if the food is good, but it's going to stay full if the service is really good.
That was a good one, Linda.
So that's what just came to my brain, is like, even if the food is great, if the service sucks, I'm still not going back there. Even if the food is mediocre and the service is great, I'm going back. So how can you show up in that way? So even if the transaction, we know we cannot control everything in the transaction. Sometimes things go sideways that are out of our control. But how can we show up for our clients so it's such great service that even though the food wasn't great, the transaction sucked, or the inspection sucked, they still are excited about the service they received?
That was good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
just, I've been in a parking lot and saw an elderly person that was obviously struggling, walking or carrying bags, and I would just go up to them and say, "Hey, let me help you." So I think as you continue to be in the sales world, just not be there going over the head with real estate, offer a service, something that can be of equity to them, whether it's us talking about our community, the world itself, not getting too deep into the world, but just being that person that also gives information overall in a service, and as you put out good, you get good.
So I'll challenge everyone to a exercise. So, when you start real estate, everybody's talking about how many contacts you have, how many contacts. Everything is about contacts. And after a while, those numbers become nothing but vanity, right? So one of the exercises we're doing is I think you should print out a list, right? And go through and highlight the people that when they answer the phone, they'll say, "Phil, what's up, man?" Versus the people that when you call them, Philip will have to say, "Hey, this is Phil with Keller Williams." Make two lists, right? And what'll happen is instead of having 7,000 people that you were bragging about and you only sold 10 houses to because they're not buying houses because you're not touching them, that list will probably be about 500 people, 400 people, 200 people. Love on those people. Like that's where your business is. And it's kind of against what we hear all the time. We're just chasing people. We're chasing people that we're not going to talk to. So when we brag about these databases, it's just vanity, right? So as building your social proof, love on the people that already know, like, and trust you. And then again, you always say to yourself the famous quote, some will, some won't, so what? You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to be for everybody. But I think if you love on 500 people a year, if you love on 150 people a year the right way, you'll sell a bunch of houses. So I'm a little short. I'm done.
Perfect. We love it short and sweet. One thing I'll say, and I think it was Tom Ferry said it. Do you think people who sell 100 houses a year go out and meet 100 brand new people every single year? That's my favorite thing. It was the first thing that dawned on me to make me start loving on my database. It's like, no, I don't have to go meet 100 brand new people this year. If I love on the 100 people I've sold a house to in the past 4 years or whatever that looks like, then they're going to refer you over and over. And you don't have to, right, go build your database to 10,000 people if you love on those 150 really, really well. I forget the stat. Sarah said there's a stat about mega agents. Oh, it was very high, like 75%. Oh, I did remember.
So that should tell y'all something. Exactly what you're saying. Where you focus in relationship
Mm-hmm.
to enrich your business. And it's 75%.
75% of mega agents.
People they don't know.
Right.
And then they end up not having
Mm-hmm.
large business.
Yeah, that reminds me of what Caleb Hall said when he said, how did his business, it blew up this week. Last year, right? He said, I quit spending money on leads and I started spending all of that money on loving on my clients.
I'm not done. So, yeah, to that point, one of the things that I'm doing even with my database this year is for the last couple of years, we were sending everybody all this stuff, right? And I think again, in the world of like all these automations and stuff, people are scared to death. Like they want real. And so I think even with our clients, like I have clients that I don't send mail to because they don't want mail. That doesn't mean that they're not going to buy a house from me. I'm an unsubscriber. So if you send me something, I'm unsubscribing. That doesn't mean I'm not going to spend money with you. It just means I've already mentally decided this is my person of value because probably I've already seen all the other social proof of this person. And so what I would say is now start categorizing your database into what people like. So Shauna has 10 friends that like to go to Bog and Barley or try a different restaurant every Friday. Love on those 10 people. You'll get more deals than sending the people that like Bog and Barley Pizza Hut coupons, right? So we're sending all this stuff to people and it's not what they're looking for. So a lot of times, naturally, we're like, we need more people. No, we don't. We got to slow down and identify what is it that the people that we already have, what are they looking for? So we're writing the wrong prescriptions, right? So figure out this person needs this, and I'm not going to stop communicating with these people about this until they tell me they want something different.
My little picking up walnuts
Right.
in the park, and she was a little bitty. She was like 2 years old, and she's stuffing these walnuts in her arms, and she's dropping some of them. And I think a lot, like what you say, a lot of people don't realize you actually probably have all the walnuts you need already. You don't have to go out and find any other. You just got to take care of what you have. Right.
I love that, Justin.
For sure.
I'm going to repeat it for Zoom. Justin said pretty much, he was talking about his daughter carrying an armful of walnuts, and she kept dropping them, trying to pick up more. So he used the analogy of you probably have all the walnuts you could possibly need, but if you don't take care of them, then you're going to drop the ones you do have, basically. Yeah, that was really good. So that's a good, honestly, that's a good takeaway from here is go make a list. Don't even look at your database. This is something I did when I first started living on my database. Literally get a piece of paper and a pen and brain dump. Who is your best from the closest people to you all the way to, you know, your blonde guy or whatever that you know would use you if you had conversations with them regularly. Brain dump it. And how many people does that give you? It'll probably give you 50 to 100 people to really love on this year. You could still touch your database with emails and blah, blah, blah. But if you really focused on those 100 people, how many deals could you get out of that? So anyways, that's my homework takeaway. Boom.
Anybody else?
Mic drop. Anybody have any thoughts?
All right.
I'm so excited to see some new faces that I've never seen before. Thank you guys for coming. And don't forget to go to Caleb's broker open after this. So he's having lunch and dessert. And y'all go show up for him. It's on Kirby Woods or
Right
Kirby, something like that. Yep, right around the corner. So every Tuesday. So if you have a house that you want to hold open after team meeting every Tuesday, we'd love to have broker opens. And then the office is investing in Zip Flyer for you guys so that it will spread the word of the MLS. So we can get some more activities on broker opens.
When do they need to have them turned into the office to be put on the Zip Flyer?
Sarah wanted me to cover this. So I met with Shauna last week about updating her listing presentation. And so what I did this weekend was actually I used AI to perfect a prompt that we can put straight into Canva. And it will basically auto create the listing presentation that Sarah's kind of telling us to start with pricing and work your way backwards all the way down to marketing. So no fluff. It's not 50 pages. It's about 7 pages, all you actually need. And then if you can throw it into Canva, use AI to generate it, and then you can tell it to generate it again if you don't like it, how it looks, whatever. I did it in about 2 seconds. I did this whole presentation at 10:50, and Canva did it for me. This whole thing. No, it's fine. I liked yours better. But I just put what you wanted on there and then just kind of worked it. But I told it what I wanted, what we were talking about, and Canva auto-generated it, and I just went and kind of edited what I want it to say. So using the AI inside of Canva is huge. But I'm going to give you guys, I'm building out an AI prompt library for you to just be able to copy it, paste it into Canva, and create some of this marketing so that you can do your own marketing inside of Canva super easily. Yes, you have Canva Enterprise through your KW. So, and also something that I'll teach you guys later just because I know we're running short and it might take some time. Keller Williams has its own app inside of Canva. So if you use it, sometimes you have to, download a picture, upload the picture before you can drag and drop. KW's app inside of Canva actually integrates with the MLS, and it'll pull every picture straight from the MLS, all the descriptions and everything. So you can just take it, drag it, and drop it without having to do all those, extra steps. So makes it actually super user friendly for you to create it yourself. Yes, so you will have, if you have a Canva already, you will have a different account. However, we do have the steps where you can pull over all of your old stuff into your new account if you want it all in one. And you can get rid of that Canva Pro that you're paying, I don't know, $15 a month for, or whatever that looks like. Sarah's saying for you guys on the Zoom, don't get overwhelmed by it. If you are going to look at it and get overwhelmed and then put it away and say, forget it, don't do that. Call one of us and we'll walk you through it so that you're not having to stumble through figuring it out. I've already stumbled through the figuring out part of most of our tech, so I can walk you through that. Yeah, we can do a session on a team meeting. Yeah, we can do what is next? Yes, we can do that next week. I was trying to think of what week it was. Sorry, y'all. This is the wrong Canva. Don't pay me any mind. Never mind. I'll show you guys next week. But yeah, y'all come back to team meeting next week. We're having, like I said, the MLS tech guy is coming to teach us more things you can do with the MLS. Because I know if you're anything like me, I use it very basically because I'm like, I tried to figure it out and it wasn't easy, so I said forget it. So he's going to come and talk to us a little bit about that. We're having an attorney come next week to talk about pitfalls, things he's seeing, why deals are falling apart. How could we have protected our client better, things like that. And I'll pull up Canva and kind of show you guys that. Oh, we also have a cool vendor who's coming who does like sweet treats that she can do for like broker opens or client gifts, things like that. So she's going to bring us some samples. So come for that too. Thank you guys though. And Caleb's thing starts at 12:30. So please make your way over to there and support him. And he's going to have lunch for you. Thank you so much, James. Yeah, y'all give James a hand. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Stop that. Okay, bye, Zoomers. Call me if you guys need anything.